Okay, let's take a look and see how Lola did. We're going to be using the coding and scoring errors at a glance page just to help us remember what is considered an error and what is not an error. It also lets you know how to code by giving you some examples on how to mark the inventory. It's very important that you understand what is an error and what is not an error, because obviously that's going to affect your scoring, and it'll also let you know the child's accurate reading ability. So it's important that you understand that a substitution is considered an error. Multiple substitutions are errors. A self-correction is not an error. An insertion, adding a word that is not in the text, is an error. An omission, gives no response to a word, is an error. Repeating the same word over and over or phrase over and over is not considered an error. So it's really important that you do understand what is considered an error when the child is reading and what is not. So this is handy to have. So let's take a look and see how Lola did. On our first section, the first page, she read with no errors. You'll notice I have check marks to show that she read accurately. When we get to page 2, she did have a self-correction. She said world instead of word, but she self-corrected. I noted, but it's not considered an error. When we get to the word can, she omitted. That is an error. And instead of saying minus, she said minutes. That's a substitution. That is an error. When we get down to often found, she repeated that, but that's not considered an error. So on this page, she made 2 errors and 1 self-correction. On page 3, a little different information here. She had an insertion. For every word she inserts, it's considered an error. So she inserted have a, but then she omitted are. So insertion have a, 2 errors. Omitting are is another error. And instead of saying adapted, she dropped the suffix instead, adapt. And so that is considered another error. So right there, that's 4 errors on that one line. She did repeat polar bears about twice. And then she self-corrected. She said exchanged, and then she did self-correct and said entire. She also had another self-correct at the bottom as she was finishing. So altogether, she had on this page 4 errors and 2 self-corrections. Altogether for reading the entire oral part, she made 6 errors and 3 self-corrections. So when we get to the next page, we'll notice that up here in the accuracy rate, with 4 to 6 errors, she's at a 98% accuracy rate, which for her, at her grade level, that would be considered her independent reading level. Now, she's a level Q, and that is not 5th grade. However, this is her independent reading level. This helps me know that she can read a level Q with accuracy of 98% independently.